Hello, friends, and thank you for joining us for another conversation here on the Level Up Co podcast. Taylor and I have a really fun episode for you guys. We are here at Hybrid Conference, and it's continuing our hybrid series. And we have brought on different attendees who have signed up for a time to ask questions on the podcast. So it's going to be a series of different attendees from Hybrid that are coming in, and there are some great nuggets of information on this. Taylor, I have not even introduced you yet. How are you?
Here I am. I'm here. I exist. I'm just kidding. I actually didn't even notice if I'm being totally honest. I was just like nodding along and listening to everything you said. But yeah, this is great. As we're recording, we are finishing up day one of Hybrid. It's actually really cool. We set up a whole podcast studio here at Hybrid Co. We sent out an email to attendees. We have like little signs around where they can scan a QR code and grab a time on the calendar and sit down and ask us questions. So we are going to put together a few of these episodes where we are bringing on multiple attendees asking questions. And so this is the first installment of that. It's going to be really fun. You know, some of my favorite podcasts are in this format where people like either write in or call in and kind of give their situation, ask a question, and like get guidance. I love those kinds of podcasts and YouTube videos, and we thought maybe you guys would like it too. Here at the Level Up Co., Kelly and I truly do believe that an elevated client experience from the very first touch point of that first email all the way through the delivery of your wedding films or those final galleries are all so important. And that's why Kelly and I both have been using and loving VidFlow for the last several years, and we recommend to all of our students and our audience members to use VidFlow as well. Delivery experience truly matters. The way your clients view their films for the very first time should be a magical moment. It needs to be a professional and branded experience, instead of basic file sharing like Dropbox or Google Drive, or even Vimeo or YouTube links. Through VidFlow, clients can stream their videos through smart TVs, streaming devices, and setup boxes. Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, you name it. There are so many options for clients to watch and experience their films for the very first time on the big screen at home. And VidFlow is now offering photo delivery as well. They now support photo delivery with their new hybrid galleries, which is a major benefit for hybrid shooters and combined photo and video teams. You can now deliver your beautiful photo galleries alongside your video galleries in one place. Level up your delivery experience for 2026 and beyond with VidFlow. You can get started today by going to vidflow.co/thelevelupco. This is the Level Up Podcast. I'm Taylor Petrnovich.
And I'm Kelly Gilster of 618 Studios.
And we are on a mission to help wedding filmmakers and photographers level up their businesses so you can make more and work less.
We want to help you confidently take your business from mainstream to luxury, and it all starts right here.
Hey, Laura. Well, we're excited to sit down with you today. Can you introduce yourself to the listeners?
Yes, so I am Laura Kwong. I am from Nebraska. I own the Kwong's Co. Photos and Films with my husband, Shane. We are a photo video team specializing in light, timeless, dreamy photos and films.
Beautiful. I love it. And you have a question for us today.
Yes, so I was curious, when you're going from kind of the middle market to the upper market, what are some things that you implement or that you did implement or you recommend implementing in your wedding day workflow to really do well in those luxury wedding days?
Yeah, there's definitely a few things. Number one, if you're a listener of the podcast, you already know, like, dressing to impress, right? So we're definitely elevating the way we're showing up on the wedding day, like, ourselves as a person, wearing the little heel and something nice. But beyond that, a lot of it actually, for me personally, has to do with the way I'm interacting with not only the couple, but their like VIPs at the wedding, right? So really trying to do my very, very best to remember people's like faces and names and addressing them by their name instead of like mom, mother of the bride, or you know what I mean? So that goes a long way. Really, as much as I can, like implementing phrases that kind of speak more to their world and like using elevated vocabulary can be really, really helpful. And then also I will say that being more tidy with your gear and like intentional with like where you're placing things throughout the day and your footprint throughout the wedding day is huge. I mean, in the early days of my business, I would just kind of like leave my Pelican case like open and like gear strewn about and tripods everywhere. And like now making sure we're being really, really mindful of like the impact that we're having on the day and like from what guests can see is so important. Like they're spending so much money on this event and our gear is kind of an eyesore. And so whenever we can be really mindful of like placing those things out of sight of the guests, or even having a conversation with the planner, like sometimes if the planner is really busy when we arrive, they may not have an opportunity to like direct us where they want gear to be placed. So making sure we're like asking, like, is there a green room? Where do you want things stored? Because they do sometimes have a preference and they just haven't had a chance to tell you. So just making sure that you're all on the same page, like everything's out of sight of the guests.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, when you get an inquiry from a planner and all they give you is the date and say, what's your pricing? And you do custom proposals, what should we be sending those planners?
Great question. So that's actually why we believe in a hybrid model for pricing. I know that there's a lot of luxury educators out there who preach custom proposals only. And we do believe that custom proposals have a time and a place in your business, but that would, for me, be an instance where actually sending your set list of collections would be the fit. So what I have is I have like my Northern California collections and then destination collections. So based on where the venue is, where they'll be getting married, I would choose the appropriate one. And I book a lot of weddings still just based off of my collections and not a custom proposal.
That's amazing. Okay. Thank you so much.
Well, Catherine, it's so nice to have you here in the hot seat. And I hear that you have a question for me, and I'd love to answer it.
Yes. So my husband and I are a photo and video team. I'm the photographer, he's the videographer. And I'm also diving into learning a little bit more about videographer as being like more of the second in his side. Like, what's a good way for me to support him as like his secondhand woman?
Would you say on wedding day or just all encompassing in the business?
More on wedding day.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I feel like for him, he's going to be the ones that are maybe dreaming up the hero shots of those things. Or maybe you can even come in, like maybe you have more of that creative eye to like foresee hero shots or the directions and stuff. I feel like seconds are so amazing when they can be problem solvers before there's been a problem.
Okay.
So rather than so I'm a husband and wife team. So we work together. We worked together for 15 years. Now it's become a well-oiled machine. But I think having a clear kind of like business meeting, like Paul and I will truly have like business meetings like the week leading up to a wedding of like, what are the expectations? So, and then even on the drive over, like we're reviewing like maybe some things that the client had requested like in previous months or things like that so that we're all on the same page. Because what I don't want is like for a third or a second to be constantly coming up to me as the lead and like asking me questions that brings me out of like my creative zone and like my hospitality service for my clients. So I want to be like fully present and ready to be like for them. And like, so having those like pre-business meetings have been such a game changer for us so that there is clear communication lines. We know what the roles are for each other and then being like easily adaptable and stuff into things. So like, for example, sometimes as me as the lead, I will tell like Paul, like, okay, cool. During cocktail hour, these are the things that I like would need from you. I need wides of the reception space. I need wides of cocktail hour. I'd love drone of cocktail hour. And then I'd love drone of surrounding areas because lighting was better than we filmed it earlier before on drone. And so like, but there may be a need for a quick pivot of like, oh, the clouds rolled in. So like, I don't really need drone. So I actually think it would be great if you could like maybe focus in on wides of cocktail hour and then like some mediums of like cute fashion moments that like some of the guests have and stuff. And so instead of, I think beginning in the years, he would get locked into like what his role needed to be at certain points in the day, but being really like, I call it bendy and flexy, just like being bendable, flexible with all the things and being like, great, I got you. And it doesn't need to be like, oh, well, like follow up just to clarify, is it like this, and this? Like, then I start to get like, no, just like go do your thing. Like, I trust you. And then also after the fact, having like really healthy, just like peeking at things. I found like for him, like shots, showing him shots, not so much that like he didn't do as well. Maybe this would be like your husband having this conversation with you as the second, but like having him show you like what you really excelled in at that wedding and like making it a positive experience for you. And for me, it was making it a positive experience for Paul rather than going and being like, this shot didn't really line up how I thought I envisioned in my head. And this one didn't, and this one didn't, which is like kind of cuts away. And like, it's like little digs at them, I think, as like artists. And so for Paul, it was like, let me show you what you did really well and what I loved. And then he was so much more willing to like be a great team player on the wedding day and like really get excited about partnering together on wedding days. And so I hope that's helpful for you guys
Yeah.
too. It's hard. It's
Super.
a hard balance with the
Mhm.
husband and wife dynamic
Mhm.
where it's like we want to do really amazing things for our clients. We also have to preserve like the healthiness of our relationship too. And so it's, yeah. How long have you guys been working together?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys
Mhm.
are like still early-ish in it. I'm 16 years in. So like I'm sure you guys will also hit like ebbs and flows. And I know
Mhm.
you guys will find your flow. And also because like you're a photographer and he's a videographer, but
Yes.
you're bouncing over. So that's
Yes.
very, yeah. Any other follow-up questions that I didn't touch on that you have?
No, I just had one more other question as far as to because I know when you're hitting that super luxury market, I know you guys because we listened to your podcast and you mentioned to like kind of separate the businesses into two. Um, what if we don't want to really hit that like ultra luxury, more of like maybe like that white luxury? Like, would you recommend that we still like separate our businesses or still keep it together?
Yeah, if luxury is not like what you want to
Mhm.
pursue, then I think it's totally fine. I think that clients in what we call the lovely market, which is like just above kind of that mainstream market, still find really great value in like a combo team.
Okay.
If say even if they don't have a full service planner, it's like one less vendor for them to keep track of, and it makes things like really easy if they just have maybe partial planning or month of coordination. So I still think that like that would be a great fit for you. And I know that there's lots of like really profitable, thriving businesses in both fields where they can shoot, still 20 weddings a year at $10,000 or $12,000 or whatever for the combo. I don't know
Yeah.
what you're charging, but like,
Mhm.
yeah, just kind of putting it that way. Like tons of successful brands and businesses in that market.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Well, hey, Lindy, how's it going?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. Well, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me sit down.
So fun. Can you introduce yourself for the listeners?
I'm Lindy. I'm a wedding photographer out of Dallas, and I'm with Lindy Ruth Photography.
So
Okay.
you're based in Dallas, and you have a big move coming up?
I'm based in Dallas. I go to New York quite a bit.
Okay.
My market is like between the two of those. So
I love
yeah.
it. It's a good dual market.
Yes, it's a great dual market. I want to ask, like, what do you do for a workout routine to get yourself ready? I know,
Ooh.
to get yourself ready for wedding days or just photography in general. Because I found what works for me, but it's always really interesting to hear what other photographers do to get their bodies ready. Because the day after you come home from a wedding, they call it the hangover syndrome, where you're just like so dehydrated, your body aches, like all the things. So, what do you do to try to prevent that?
That's really good. I'm like a total early to bed person. Like I love my sleep. Like if I can get 8 to 9 hours, I feel like that makes like a huge impact. Like the night before a wedding. So I'm a big sleep person. I've gone through different like seasons of life where I do like to like lift weights. We have a home gym and we have like a squat rack and like all that stuff. So I do like to lift weights, but I'm going to be honest, like I'm in a season of life where I'm like in the like not doing that very much. But
Do you feel that in your work?
I really do, but I love a good hot girl walk, and I got like the weighted vest. I'm like that.
Oh, wow, that's so official.
Yeah, and then I have actually like weighted like wristbands and like ankle weights. I feel like I'm like in the 80s, like
Hi.
with my little leotard. I'm not in a leotard, I promise. So honestly, like that's kind of it. That's like where I can like multitask. I like do social media while I'm on my walks, or like I'm like doing work while I'm like active. So I feel like that's the best way right now with my schedule where I can like work it in. But I feel like electrolytes on a wedding day is really, really
What's
helpful.
your go-to electrolyte?
I love the Element ones. The
That's
watermelon
me too.
is so good.
Have you tried the chocolate one? What do you think about it?
No.
I thought it was like the weirdest thing, and then I realized my roommate was putting it in her coffee, and it changed the game of like adding in the morning when I like leave before a wedding, putting chocolate element in my coffee.
Okay,
It
I
was
might have to try
actually
that.
so great.
That sounds really good. Is it
Yeah.
iced coffee or hot coffee?
It's a hot coffee. Well, yeah, I haven't tried it with iced coffee, so you can let me know how that goes. But
Yeah.
a hot coffee it's what I do.
Okay, I love that. And then I always put slippers in my car with like tight socks.
Shut up. Right
And so,
after
like-
the wedding, you get in slippers?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Actually, we had a party last night, and I came down the stairs halfway through with slippers on. I don't know. I feel like if my feet hurt, like, then like my day is ruined. And so I don't know. After 10 hours, and like I wear heels on my wedding days.
How high are the?
They're only like
how
an
are-
inch and a half, but like
Okay.
still. Anyway, I don't know. So I get right into slippers too. So I feel like if I'm like taking care of myself like along the way, it's really, really helpful.
Yeah, explain to me how heels work on a wedding day, because I feel like I have tried these smallest heels, and I'm also 5'10", so
Yeah.
like I don't know if that plays into it, but my knees like cannot do that. I have to wear flats.
So I don't feel it in anywhere in my body except my actual feet. Like I
Okay.
feel like everywhere else is just fine. And actually, some people say that like wearing a small heel helps with like your like hip alignment, and like if you're on your feet all day, it actually like tilts your pelvis like in a positive way.
Oh,
And it can be
really?
helpful. That's why like have you seen like nurses wear like tennis shoes where like the heel of the tennis shoe is like very elevated, and it's like
I thought that was
That-
like more cushion.
I think it might be the way it like is tilting your pelvis when you're standing. What's your workout routine to get ready for wedding days?
This is not super luxury to say, I think, but I rock climb, and
Oh.
I think that has helped my like finger strength with like holding the camera, pressing it, because I have a fear of getting arthritis.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
I've heard that. I've heard it from like people who are in the hair and makeup industry. I've heard it from hairstylists, like all the things of just like holding something for so long. And I've realized that that's also a lot of back strength as well. So I feel like rock climbing has helped me. I'm a big runner and triathlete, and so I'll do those things. But after a while, I've realized that those are not the things that have helped me as much. But I'm like, I don't know, maybe that helps somebody else is running. But I would say rock climbing has definitely been my go-to. I can feel it after a wedding day if I have not been in rock climbing shape for a while, that my body hurts tremendously more because it's like I haven't used like my finger strength as much, or my back strength as much, or even like core strength of like being able to steady myself.
Yeah.
It's an interesting like combination, but I would say that that's from what I've found. But I'm also not a gym girl. I'm not like the one who's going to go to the squat rack, and maybe that's why my knees hurt with wearing heels versus you probably do a lot of squats and you can wear the heels.
My weighted vest. Well, rock climbing is very upper body, and like all my stuff is like more lower body like focused. So
Yeah.
maybe that's the difference. But yeah,
Do you
I
not
don't-
feel it in your lower back like after a wedding day?
Oh,
of,
I
like,
do,
all
but I
the
have like
gear?
heated seats in my car. Like turn them on, and it feels like
Yes.
a like, back warmer.
Okay. Yes,
It's
I do
really
that
helpful.
as well. But
Yeah.
I'm like, I need immediate.
It can be like
something.
90 degrees outside in July, and I'll still turn the back like the seat warmer on
Yes.
just
no,
because it's soothing.
I'm
Yeah.
in Texas, and I think I'm also just like, is that called cold-blooded, where
Yeah.
you like get cold really easily? Is that cold-blooded?
It's like you're like a lizard. You like need your lizard time in your car. To,
I
like,
will get in.
defrost.
People think I'm crazy, but it's like 100 degrees outside. And if I've been in the cold air conditioning for so long, I have to thaw out. And I will sit in my car with no air conditioning on in 100-degree heat just to like de-thaw because I'm
do the
so
same
cold.
thing.
Really? Okay, everybody's like, that's so weird. It's 100 degrees. Like, you get warm walking to your car. And not me.
Yeah, I mean, after a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes, I'll turn it on, but I do the same thing. And my husband is always so hot. So it's like the battle of the AC and like the heater. And
Who wins out?
oh, he wins, unfortunately. The person who
That's-
cries the most wins. Just kidding.
You're just such a good wife.
I'm so nice. Hey, friends, really quickly, I'm going to interrupt this podcast episode because I just want to say we are so grateful to have you as listeners. Heading into our 2026 wedding season and into 2027 next year, we just know that so much is on the horizon for you. Because you're listening to this podcast, that means you are a really ambitious photographer or filmmaker, or maybe a content creator in the wedding industry who has sights set on the next level of business. The Luxury Mastermind program, which is our signature program here at the Level Up Co., is going to help you do just that. We have helped hundreds of wedding filmmakers and photographers elevate their businesses into that next level. A great example of this is Skylar Ball, who is a wedding filmmaker based in Tennessee, who was charging $3,500 per wedding when he joined our program, and now 18 months later, he's consistently booking at $12,000. We've had other students book their first five-figure wedding during our program, and we've had many students be able to double and triple their prices, which sounds crazy, but it's actually true, and we are so proud of them. If you are ready to see growth like that, if you're ready to get to that next level in business, book out your calendar year with weddings at a price point that you feel so proud of, and with weddings that are artistically fulfilling for you and that are just so fun to capture, we would love to welcome you inside our next round of the Luxury Mastermind. We are currently pre-enrolling seats before we officially launch, and students who pre-enroll get a bonus one-on-one coaching call with Kelly or myself, which is something we absolutely do for our students as a little thank you for signing up early. You can go to thelevelupco.com/mastermind to learn more about the program, see what's inside, and to pre-enroll. That should be linked in the description box down below if you're watching on YouTube, or linked in the description if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Kelly and I are so excited for our next cohort of the Luxury Mastermind, and we hope to see you in there so that we can guide you to that next level of business and beyond.
thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Oh,
Can
you're
you
welcome.
introduce yourself and tell the listeners about your business name and where you're based?
Yes, my name is Shanika Williams. I am one half of the husband and wife team DSW Photography. We're based in Houston and in New Orleans, Louisiana. However, we travel anywhere that is needed.
Amazing.
um, I am uh, I am a firm believer in documenting love stories. And one thing me and my husband loves to do, we were kind of pulled into the wedding industry in February. Yeah. So about 8 years ago, this is where what we've been doing. And here we are today.
That's amazing. Well, I'm answering questions on the podcast today, and I
Okay.
would love to hear what question you have for me.
Yes. The first question I have is when you first noticed or first realized that you were, and I want to make sure I'm saying this correctly, when you were first recognized as a top film videographer, top filmmaker, and how did that feel to make you feel? And how did it make your husband feel? And what things y'all had? What was y'all main excitement? What was y'all main feelings toward that?
Yeah, so I would say it's interesting enough. So, although we have seen lots of success and we get to travel and we do these, work for these really high net wealth individuals, we actually have never, like, formally ever been, like, named or, like, a part of, like, any sort of, like, the top lists. We've been featured on Brides once. We had a feature years and years ago on Town and Country, but, like, being a part of, like, we don't have a Vogue feature, we don't have, like, any of those things. We've really kept, like, a lot of our successes, like, more internal,
Hmm.
and I really actually am so happy that that was our avenue because it really helped us attract a different level of client with a little bit more discernment and privacy when it comes to how they want to be like showcased online and things like that. So
Gotcha.
I I think that it used to bother me that it was like, oh, we're not being recognized or like we haven't been on the lists. And it took me a lot of years to get over that. My husband, not so much. He's like, we're just here to do a good job. Like, what does it mean to be on like lists or to be like chasing these
Yeah.
accolades or what does that do? That doesn't make us like a better filmmaker than for that client next Saturday than being on the list or not, right? So, really, I think it's being recognized with the planners that come back to us again and again. For me, that is like the accolade to me that there's a planner that trusts us with many of their clients year after year. Like, that's so much more valuable to me, honestly, than being seen as like named top cinematographer on Over the Moon or named, best of in Vogue or whatever it is. So I would say like it was an insecurity that in the beginning years was like something that I was actively trying to chase. And then it just never really organically happened. And then just looking internally and saying, you know what, that's okay. Like, and actually, like I went back to it, different types of clientele. Either you have a clientele that wants all the attention in the spotlight and they are happy with their wedding being tied to Vogue or those accolades, but our clients now, and I think it's because we don't have something like that to show forth, we we attract a different type of client, a more private client, a client that has that discernment of privacy surrounding their event, and we're happy with that.
That's amazing that you say that. Now, when I saw your work, I automatically felt like you guys could be on that list. So for you to say that, I would have never even thought that or known. But honestly, you putting things in perspective, even for me, and it's just making me realize some things because I've been dealing with some things that isn't about making a list. But your work is amazing.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Yeah, and I
You're
hope that the
welcome.
listeners too, like listening to our conversation right now, get that clarity as well in knowing that, it's not always about chasing to be on that next publication. I think that we have seen the rise and I won't want to say fall, but like the rise and fall of publications on just different things
Social
like
media, yeah.
social media. I know I've been in this industry for 16 years. And back in the day, it was like, got to get on the blogs. The blogs were like,
Same.
yes, like it was like, if you got a Style Me Pretty feature, like my inbox was like, I was getting like 10 inquiries right from that feature. And like now, I mean, nothing really, right? So there's just ebbs and flows. And so I hope that listeners are also enjoying this conversation, and it gives them a little bit of confidence in themselves that even if you're
Absolutely.
not named on those top lists, that doesn't mean that you can't be successful. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was definitely a pleasure you saying that, honestly. That's a lot of clarity for me. And you know, I I'm just sold on what you were saying. So thank you for that.
Of course.
Hey, Brian, how are you?
I'm doing well. It's great to see you.
Great to see you too. I'm here with Brian Sellers, who's a filmmaker based in Virginia, right?
Virginia, Williamsburg.
Amazing. Can you just give a quick intro?
Sure. Brian Sellers is my name. I'm a filmmaker based in Williamsburg, Virginia, and I've been shooting about 2.5 years now. I came into the industry after a long time in a number of other industries, and I love everything about shooting weddings and being able to create all of the memories that our clients will have and treasure. Because I remember at my own wedding, it was a 3-day thing with 65 people. So it was not a huge wedding. And only because of all of my photographs do I remember anything of it, because it was just this crazy experience. And so I love being able to give that to all of our clients. It's so much fun.
Amazing. So, what's your question, Brian?
You guys have helped so many people, and you've given all this amazing advice to all these people, including me. I'm wondering, what is a piece of advice that somebody has given to you, and who was that, and what was that?
That's a really good question. This is not business related, but I think it's something that all of us can take away. Everything in life feels urgent and important until you encounter a health crisis, and then that becomes everything. And so I think that in a world that's so fast paced and so focused on materialistic things or pursuits that don't ultimately matter, all of that in an instant can be framed or put into perspective of how important it really is when you do encounter something that is life changing or threatening when it comes to your own personal health or the health of a loved one.
Yeah.
And so, although this podcast and what we do is so business focused, and that is such an important piece of the puzzle, always making sure we are taking care of our bodies and our minds, because without those things, none of this matters. And making sure that we are cherishing every moment that we have with the people that we love, because I mean, it's so fun to chase goals, and it's
Sure.
so fun to like refine our craft and things, but like we're human, like
Right.
we are animals, like
Right.
living on this planet.
Yep.
And all of it is for naught if you're not in a place where you can enjoy it to its fullest. And so those 8 hours of sleep and your 8 glasses of water
Right.
and your 25 grams of fiber, like, or I don't know, whatever, is actually like way more important than anything else you could ever do in this world.
And the cool thing about that also is that I think if you keep that in mind when you aren't having a health crisis, when you are just having all of the things that are, that are stressors in your job because of whoever you are talking to, or the client that you're hoping to get, or the shoot that you're hoping to do, if you can kind of keep that in mind, that everything really is okay, even if you don't exactly get this, that really does help to ground you and help you stay happy with even the hard times in the business, because it's not really that hard. It's still really good. And we get to do all these amazing things every day. And that's a thing to be cherished.
Yeah. The lows in business are nothing compared to like other lows you can experience in life. And so keeping that in perspective, that like even the worst days in business like are nothing compared to like other
I hear
potential
you.
disasters.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that was a great question. Thank you, Brian. Well, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Level Up podcast. Again, we are here at Hybrid. You'll be seeing a lot of this setup over the next several weeks. Lots more amazing interviews and questions answered to come. And we'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us in today's conversation.
Please help us reach more filmmakers and photographers like you by taking a screenshot and sharing it to social media. And don't forget to tag us at The Level Up Co.
And join us again next week, same time, same place, as we continue to level up the industry together.